Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Gale Harvey. I'm a volunteer unpaid lobbyist for National Organization for Women Rhode Island chapter. I'm here to represent our organization. We sent a letter to you electronically. I hope you all got it. It's a one-page letter to support the efforts to ensure that Rhode Islanders who work can earn a wage that supports their families. These efforts to increase the minimum wage are particularly important for gender equality in Rhode Island. Most of the workers who would be affected by this increase are women who represent 61% of the minimum wage workforce. This hourly increase will help nearly a quarter of the women working in Rhode Island who already face a persistent wage gap in the workforce. Increasing the minimum wage will help many Rhode Islanders in retail and hospitality workforce. The increase will contribute to and be supported by a growing Rhode Island economy. It will afford working parents a bit more economic security for their parents. It also will make Rhode Island more competitive, as has been pointed out, with our neighboring states, Massachusetts and Connecticut. Recently, I did some research on this, and I was interested with NBC News, a report they put out that listed 8 of the lowest paying jobs. One of them was farm workers. But out of the 8, I picked the jobs that are most relevant to Rhode Island. Not that we don't have farm workers, but they're dishwashers, cashiers, hosts and hostesses, personnel, and home care aides. They also had movie ticket takers and people like that. And I know when we go to the movies, most times we see young people who are taking the tickets and giving us our popcorn, which makes me think that they're working minimum wage. Well, I don't think these kids are working minimum wage to buy a new car. I think these kids, as was pointed out, are helping out their families. But in the case of my own kids who work for minimum wage, they were working for funding their own college educations, so that the money they earned over summers was the money they had all year to live on while they were in college. So I think that's important to think about when we talk about teenage workers. Home care workers. Just this past weekend, I was at Genesis down in South County for 2 days. My brother-in-law has been there for a while. And I know how hard these CNAs work, and I see what they have to do. And there is a crisis, because I've been in these committee meetings 2 or 3 years, not this one particularly, but other ones when we try to raise the minimum wage for CNN workers. This is tremendously important, and you know, who's taking care of our kids? I mean, I was lucky. I was able to stay home until my kids could go to 5th grade. But I don't know what I would do now if I were faced with that. So this is what I'd like to ask you. You've seen a lot of charts and a lot of figures, but they're faces to the people who earn these minimum wages, and you see them every day. Your cashiers, your ticket takers, CNN workers, maybe for people you're visiting, your loved ones. Please look at these people and know that they have faces, they have lives, and what they're doing needs to be acknowledged in this fight. It's really important. Many of them hold more than one job to survive. Housing costs are through the roof. I know that personally as a renter, it's frightening. Healthcare and prescription drugs are on the increase, and if one thing is on the increase and my living wage is not, what happens? I'm in trouble. Families are in trouble. So please think of the personal side of this bill, the people it affects. By increasing the minimum wage, you will help so many people and workers in Rhode Island and contributing to the Rhode Island economy, and I thank you for your time.